backcourt. And at the pivot, a bruising and physical 6'11", 290-pound center. A battering ram in Pekovic. Then there's Buddingham, and it's Love in at the 4. And looking at the Trailblazers, Lillard and Matthews pair up in the backcourt. And playing at the center position, one of the Lopez twins out of Stanford, 7-foot banger, Robin Lopez. Then there's Batum, and it's Aldridge in at the 4 slot. Love with the bucket.
Boy, when you've got a big man who can shoot from distance like he can, what a huge bonus that is.
You know, guys, Portland had one of the worst benches in the history of the league last season. You know, they didn't get much contribution there. It was almost like they went into every game playing 5 versus 12.
Get outside, get outside.
Martin inside. He's covered by Matthews. Lopez with the steal. Matthews with it. Back to Lopez. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Well, as Clark was talking about when referring to the Blazers, the bench scoring was a big problem for them as they didn't have anyone really outside the starting 5 that Steve could be counted on for 7 points or more a game.
Yeah, look, the NBA game is 48 minutes long. It's tough to survive for those full 4 quarters when you have no offensive punch off the bench. But I think this offseason they added a lot of firepower, a lot of scoring in reserve, and we'll see if that makes a difference for this team this year.
And it's good. Lopez has got his second basket of the game.
How about the delivery in the lane, just perfectly done.
Rubio the pass to Martin. And Rubio kicks to Martin. Back to Rubio. Now the pass to Love. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Last season was the best yet for Robin Lopez. Career highs pretty much across the board for Lopez as he stepped into the starting center role for New Orleans. Sometimes it's just a matter of opportunity before a player gains the confidence to be productive in a starting role.
Leaps for it. Matthews with the steal. Gets it to go. 54 seconds left to play here in the first. Lillard against Rubio. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Damian Lillard. That is his first foul of the game. And for Robin Lopez, not the scorer that his twin brother Brook is, but, you know, he's showing some signs offensively.
Well, he's efficient from the field and from the foul line, and the key for him is to continue to work on his rim protection, his defense in the lane. He's got potential to be very good in there.
Just 5 to shoot. Lets it go from deep. Correa, no good. Trailblazers leading by 3. Guys, they've been getting it done.
They sure have been. I mean, really looking good and sharp offensively.
Yeah, knocking down the open shots and really getting a nice flow to their game.
The kick out to Matthews. Back to Williams. Portland moving the ball around. Here's Robinson. Minnesota with the rebound. Now here's Shved. Looking to end the drought. No good on that last second attempt there. A good close contest so far as we finish. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here.
You know, the Wolves were just decimated by injuries last year, and it really put a snag in their season from the start, with Rubio still recovering from his ACL tear and Kevin Love missing a lot of time with his hand fracture. They were missing 2 major building blocks.
Robinson can't get that one to fall.
That's an unusual, surprising miss for him. Typically, he's good on those inside.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, gentlemen, rumors coming out this summer that LaMarcus Aldridge was not entirely happy in Portland. It seems he'd like to play in a bigger market with a team further in its development. A tough situation for the Blazers, who really don't want to part ways with their franchise big man. Kevin, we'll see how it pans out.
Well, I wouldn't count him out just yet, Doris. Thank you. Minnesota making a switch. Lights checked in. And with the Wolves last year, Ricky Rubio came back and helped them turn things around a bit. But Kevin Love would end up playing very few games for him, Steve. And they never really got the chance that they once seemed to have.
Now, Love's injury, I think, just devastated this team. And Rubio, of course, coming off that ACL, he eventually made it back. But those are the key guys. I mean, Rubio and Love have to be the foundation of this club. They added a lot of three-point shooting in the offseason. So this should be a pretty well-rounded team. But it's up to the stars, Kevin.
Now, here's Rubio. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Taken away by Williams. Lillard attacking. The baseline jumper goes down. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Trailblazers.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And the other thing they're doing is forcing a lot of turnovers, and that's helping them to get easy points at the other end.
Here's Martin. Following the score by Damian Lillard. Outside for Martin. Williams with the steal. Inside, here's Wright. The shot no good. Some solid defense from Pekovic. Timberwolves trail by 7.
Well, Minnesota won 31 games last season, but only 11 of those came on the road. For a team that was battered and bruised heading out on a lengthy road trip is often a recipe for a losing streak, and that was the case for them last year. The injuries just really bogged them down.
Now here's Love. After Terrell Wright's miss. Second shot opportunity. And Rubio kicks to Pekovic. They shoot again. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you talk about strength and physicality at the center position. Pekovic is right there with anybody. He's got an imposing game. Reminds me a little bit of Marc Gasol in that regard. He can use that strength to power you down low, but he's also got some skill as well.
You know, that's an interesting comparison. I love how he always battles, Steve. A terrific offensive rebounder. Gets a lot of stickbacks. Very tenacious. Well, picking up again on the Timberwolves, road travel can be especially tough on them just given the geography where their home city is in relation, Steve, to the rest of the NBA.
Well, particularly in relation to the rest of the West, because, you know, there the Timberwolves are up north and kind of in the middle of the country. So they have a lot of long trips, but look, there are no excuses in the NBA. I mean, everybody's got their own adversity they've got to deal with.
Outside Aldridge. Lillard attacking, and it's blocked. Budinger with it. Lillard picks him up. Rubio dishes to Love. Pass to Pekovic. He feeds it to Budinger. Back to Pekovic. 6 to shoot. Hits the bucket.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
Trailblazers leading by 3. Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. There's Williams with the 3. Hits the bucket. Timberwolves have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Rubio the pass to Martin. He kicks to Love. Aldridge is there. From 8. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And so we wrap up the first half. Trailblazers.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
NBA basketball on a Saturday night. Oh, the perfect weekend activity. Family friendly and a whole bunch of fun. Let's check out the action. Portland with the lead against Minnesota. And nice teamwork offensively. Moving the ball around. What a great way to play. A productive first half for Mo Williams. They've had some great production.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game.
You know, the Blazers found themselves, guys, near the bottom of the West last season, and typically when that happens, you struggle against the rest of the conference, and that was certainly the case for Portland.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, the Portland Trailblazers, for a team that lacked for depth and shot creators last season, it was an encouraging summer. In the draft, taking C.J. McCollum with the 10th pick, Cal Berkeley's Alan Crabb with the 31st, and then they signed Darrell Wright and trade for Robin Lopez and Thomas Robinson. The first 3 provide outside shooting and scoring. Robinson, a promising young rebounder, and Lopez poised to claim the starting role for center. Guys, with a relatively young team looking to grow, it was a great offseason for the Blazers.
It certainly seemed like they improved this offseason. Thanks, Doris. Portland did have their problems, as you said, Clark, against the West. A big part of it was late in the season. They were beat up and lost their last 13 games of the year. Steve, mostly those losses coming to Western teams.
Well, that was a big slide for them, and probably made their 18-34 mark in the conference seem probably a little worse than it should have. But they were out of the playoffs, they lost their edge, and they were playing a lot of young people. I think this is a team that has a chance to make a big comeback.
1:44 left in the third. Rubio gets a screen from Love. And Rubio kicks to Budding. Dishes it to Love. Timberwolves passing it around. Back to Martin. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Bekovic. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good.
Well, quite honestly, guys, he was one of the biggest surprises of the 2011-12 season. Pekovic. I mean, he continued to show that he's a fantastic option at the center spot with another solid season. I mean, he's a big physical presence, can finish inside, aggressive on defense and on the boards, and doesn't have a bad face-up jump shot either.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. Going back to Bekovic, or Peck as you call him, Steve, as his teammates call him too. Another productive season. He did struggle with some injuries. Just about 20 games, but he is a man.
Hey, Peck is a grown man.
He is
There's
a
no
grown man.
question.
Yes.
Pretty remarkable second-round pick, 31st overall back in 2008. But well, the T-Wolves have to be excited about finding their starting center of the future.
Tony Turioff, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Williams dishes to Brew. Off target with his 3. Portland leading by 11. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Matthews. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Matthews has got his second bucket.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
No, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out of the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Williams against Aldridge to stop the run. Williams gets the bucket. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Lillard outside. Up top, Batum. Aldridge left side. Again, the Trailblazers good for 2. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats here for Portland?
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And the other thing they're doing, Clark, is scoring a lot of points off turnovers, forcing mistakes and cashing in.
Here's Matthews. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Matthews has got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for Portland. Timberwolves trail by 15. And Rubio kicks to Love.
Rubio.
Bekovic with a screen on Robinson. Budinger, the pass to Love. Clock at 6. Martin. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. One minute now into this fourth quarter. Trailblazers leading by 13. Lillard outside. Batum inside the three-point line. Offline from the top of the key. Minnesota shooting only 31%. Their offense really struggling to put possessions together. Rubio gets a screen from Love. And Budinger kicks to Rubio. The drive by Love. 6 on the shot clock. Leonard with the steal. And now Matthews pushing it up. No one back to stop him. That's good. Matthews has got 4 points this quarter.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
And the Timberwolves call timeout. They're trailing by 15. There's 1:26 left to play in the final quarter. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Rick Adelman as he addressed his team. He told his guys, it's time to turn it up a little and try to make a push. We've worked too hard to come away empty-handed. Let's put this thing away. Kevin, we'll see if they can get it done.
Rubio gets a screen from Love. Back to Martin. Left side, Martin. And they're able to recover. And can't hit the shot, but they're saying he got hacked, so he'll head to the free throw line. And he knocks down the first one.
You know, even though it was a down year for the Blazers in terms of their overall record last year, they still enjoyed quite a bit of success at home. It's one of the better home court advantages in the league.
That one is no good. And for the Blazers, as you said, not the year they won, but Steve, they still managed to finish 22-19 here in Portland.
Well, it's a young team, very talented starting five, but very little depth. And I think over the course of an 82-game season, the lack of bench help really cost Portland. But a lot to be excited about, some good young talent, and a home court that traditionally has been very positive for this team.
And Rubio kicks to Love. Feeds it to Buttinger. And it comes off the front of the rim.
Tell you what, it can be really frustrating as a shooter. All you can do is grimace because you just can't find the ring.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And Lillard kicks to Matthews. He passes to Leonard. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Just got a little careless on that pass. They should be able to connect on those.
We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The feed to Shved. There's the dish to Williams. Barea kicks it to Shved. Good, and it's Barea who picks up the assist. And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin. How much to be critical of with this win, Clark?
Not at
We make it cool to be something.